I thought I'd take a few minutes and make a short video to give you kind of a taste of what contents are in the little booklet. It's available from Amazon.com, $9.95 for the print version, $2.99 for the e-version. Starts with an introduction, talks a little bit about first things first, your bridal party, your ceremony elements, and ends with closing remarks. So let's take a look, for example, at just the introduction. It says, "Congratulations on your engagement. I hope the occasion was as romantic as you always hoped. Now that you're looking forward to your wedding day, and likely hoping that your ceremony will be as perfect as possible, personalized, warm, happy, memorable, and meeting all of your needs, wants, and desires. Planning your wedding can be a daunting task. Depending on the size and the style you choose for your special day, there are dozens of vendors and hundreds of details which you may have to deal with. With the right officiant, however, the actual ceremony itself doesn't have to be as scary as many of the other things that you have to deal with and about which you'll need to make decisions. I've had the pleasure and the honor to have officiated hundreds of weddings over the past several years, and I've discovered that the similarities outnumber the differences, and that my client couples' fears and questions most often fall into the categories that I'll cover in this short guide. So that's kind of the introduction, and then we get into the first chapter, which is first things first. And it says, there are certain basic questions you must ask yourself first to begin any of your detailed planning. These include, when do we plan to have the ceremony? What is the size of our budget? Where would we like to have the ceremony? And how many guests would we like to invite? These questions interact with each other, so you may have to go through several iterations to come up with a basic plan that is realistic and realizable. Let's look at each question first and then discuss deriving the plan. So I really go into some detail about when. There are several factors to consider here, depending on where you live. The weather could be a factor. Winter weddings happen, of course, but spring, summer, and fall are usually much friendlier weather-wise, unless you live or plan to marry in a warm climate. Your budget is, of course, one, if not the biggest constraint on your overall wedding plans. If your budget is unlimited, you can choose anywhere, when, and guest size you like. But if your budget is less grandiose, which is really the case with most couples, you'll need to factor into each decision you make. And if it's very limited, so will your choices be limited. We talk a little bit later about where, depending on your desired wedding date and your available budget, your next decision is likely to be where to have your wedding. And the choices here are endless. Going a little further down into the how many, choosing how many people to invite, who to invite to your wedding is perhaps the most difficult set of decisions you'll have to make as the couple planning your wedding. Decisions that are fraught with emotional connotations, potential family conflicts, friends and colleagues' hurt feelings. So one key to when putting this guest list together is the cost of food and beverage catering, because it goes up and down directly with the addition or subtraction of each guest. So we go into, whether you should, who in your immediate or extended family, your spouse-to-be's immediate and extended family, friends, relatives, co-workers, so on and so forth. The following chapter talks about your bridal party and the bridal party makeup, who's in it, and then the processional order. Then we look at the ceremony elements that go next in there, whether you want to have grandparents and parents included in the wedding party or have them preceded, and so on and so forth. So anyway, you'll find that the description of the typical ceremony, starting with the welcome statement, the wedding ceremony, the exchange of vows, the declaration of intent, the prayer and blessing if you want religious, or consecration for non-religious, exchange of rings, pronouncement, the kiss, and the presenting of the married couple, all are addressed in this little book. So I'd encourage you, especially since you'll probably save way more on because of using the advice in this book than the cost of the book, especially if you buy the ebook version for $3. Order yours today from Amazon.com or the ebook version. And if you're not a bride or a groom to be, but you know a bride or a groom to be, please do share this with them. And I wish you a wonderful ceremony and a wonderful life together with love and laughter and peace and joy and prosperity. Thanks so much. If I can be of service as your officiant, I'd love to do that. I serve the Northwest Oregon and Southwest Washington areas. Thanks for watching, and congratulations again.